Hey, welcome on this Friday, the 13th, to the Travel Marketing Machine presentation. So this is the AI system I've created essentially to grow bookings all year round. And it's a combination of many years of love of marketing, love of tech, and traveller research. So I'll take you through a little bit of that now. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a bit of a dinosaur. I've been around for 30 years, but as I always say, I like to think I'm an evolving dinosaur. And I've done lots and lots of things, pretty much every single job in the travel and tourism industry, starting with being a travel agent at the Qantas Travel Centre in Collins Street, 233 Collins Street. And more recently, I've been a travel researcher. So that's probably the last 20 years or so. I'm ex-Qantas. So I started researching travellers when I was at Qantas in the market research department as the market research communications manager for Qantas. So since then, I have literally interviewed and surveyed thousands and thousands of travellers about what they love about travel. And as a result, I've helped hundreds of travel brands grow, as well as destinations as well, both big and small here in Australia and around the world. So I feel like as a travel researcher, I really have had the best job in the world to work with some of these fabulous brands in researching travellers and marketing. And I've gone all in with AI. So I've always been a bit of a travel tech nerd, or a tech nerd anyway. And what's happened the last year or so, AI has, I've realised, given us so much opportunity in the travel and tourism industry to literally save hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I'm going to take you through that. And I'm also going to show you. So what we're going to do is go through the system that I've been using and implementing with some of my fabulous clients. And then I'm actually going to show you my customized ChatGPT that I've created as well, that you can potentially have access to, and it is just going to blow your mind away. So even if you're using ChatGPT, try and stay to the end, because this is taking it one step further. So over the last year or so, I've done probably well over 100 hours in training with all sorts of people, predominantly, all overseas, and learning how we can use AI to just sell travel and get so many more bookings, be more in tune with our travellers, and just develop amazing products and experiences that are going to really resonate with our travellers. So what I've done is just created a simple marketing system that consistently brings bookings in all year round, because that's what we want, right? It's bookings. So over the years, having helped so many brands and spoken to so many travellers, what I've found is that there's three common obstacles to most people, most businesses in the travel and tourism industry. So unearthing those three obstacles, I've come up with three good solutions and an all-encompassing plan, and that is the Travel Marketing Machine. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So the Travel Marketing Machine is literally a system that delivers a steady flow of inquiries and bookings every week so that your pipeline never runs dry. So the system, the predetermined system, does all the heavy lifting for you. And I've outlined all of the steps here. So there are 9 steps solving the 3 problems or obstacles and providing solutions to go with those. So implementing this step-by-step system that you can follow quite easily to have that consistent flow of bookings all year round. And the amazing thing with AI is this is a model that I've been teaching and working with as a consultant to the industry for a really long time. But what is so fabulous is that AI means that we can all do it now, not just the big guys. So in previous times, a lot of it was around content marketing, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on, and creating content. So, as a travel industry person, you have to create content constantly. We're not writers. We sell travel. We sell our hotels, accommodation, or we sell trips, beautiful trips. We're not professional writers. But what AI has given us is an entire platform to just come up with the most dreamy, beautiful articles just like that, and just show your ideal traveller that you really and truly understand them, and you're out there scouting destinations or experiences or service offerings in your town for them constantly. So I like to position this system as old school marketing meets AI. And I guess that's one of the beauties of being an older, more mature marketer, travel marketer, is that old school marketing has never, to me, gone out of style. And again, I've got some stats for you later on. And AI just makes everything happen so much more quick. What I love about this system, the Travel Marketing Machine system, is it helps avoid that feast or famine business model of our industry, where 1 minute we're empty and 1 minute we're full, empty, full. We've got seasonality, economic uncertainty, not to mention the occasional pandemic and war that cross our paths. So what we have more and more in our industry is just these environmental factors that are completely out of our control that affect us. But we've got to learn to operate as effectively as possible in this environment. And that's where we implement this system so that it's consistent. We've done everything that we can to ensure that pipeline is full all year round. So we're going to get you up and running, get your inquiries, bookings, and new clients every week, all year round. So just a reminder, there's those 3 obstacles. We're going to provide 3 solutions and 1 plan. So with the Travel Marketing Machine, the central goal for everybody here is bookings. Is that right? You're all after a booking, or at least booking more clients, inquiries, sales, all sorts of things. So we can look at brand, we can look at social media, but at the end of the day, we just want bookings. Okay? The 3 obstacles, I know I keep talking about them, but here they are. So we're going to have a look at them in depth here right now. Obstacle 1. The main obstacle I've come across, no matter how big or small, is who do I target? Who's the most profitable traveller here and now? Who's spending on travel? And this changes all the time, and more it's changing super quickly. So one of the key problems that most businesses have is they don't have access to research or data beyond the occasional conference presentation. Research is really expensive, and really only the big guys can afford research. And in fact, they're doing less and less traveller research. But it's something that I do all the time, ongoing, and it's something that I give to all of my clients if they work with me on the Travel Marketing Machine. So we're constantly researching travellers because that is our secret weapon in a sea of sameness. So even though everyone can create these articles on ChatGPT now, ChatGPT, what will give you an uplift is your primary research and deep understanding of that traveller. So most people do not have access to primary research. You might have a good feeling that it's a niche, or you might know your traveller on the surface, you know where they go, but what really are they looking for? Because travel essentially is a life-changing experience. It's transformational. So we need to get underneath the sort of rational destination or where they're going, what they're wanting. Again, the trends at the conferences are great, but most people walk out of a conference and go, yeah, that was great. I know they've done that with my presentation, and then crickets, they go back and things haven't really changed. So you're unsure on who you're targeting, if you're making the right decisions for your business. And again, who's traveling in this economy? We're up and down all the time. Again, it's that roller coaster, the peaks and troughs, the feast and famine that we're constantly faced with. And you want to be consulting or working in the business, serving clients or serving your customers when they check in. You actually want to be there doing what you love, not chasing your tail. Here's the thing, things are changing all the time, faster than ever in travel. And I often talk about pre-internet travel and post-internet, actually more smartphones. Since 2007, the landscape of this industry has changed enormously. And the reasons people travel do as well. Obstacle number 2 that most people have: what marketing actually works. Not only do you have no time for marketing, you want to know what actually works, because there's so much choice out there now. We can do so many things. You're putting up organic Facebook posts all the time. For most people, that's what we know, that's what we're comfortable with. But did you know that only around 3 to 4% of your Facebook posts will be shown to people that like your page or follow you? And Meta have made it like that. So unless you're paying for advertising with Meta, most of your posts will not be seen specifically coming to your Facebook page, which they do. But it's such a small percentage. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But again, Facebook is something that comes naturally to us, but it's not going to get you bookings. You're not sure if anyone ever sees the ads, if you do some advertising, not sure what works. You might want to get your travellers to book direct with you rather than with an OTA. You've done digital marketing courses, but at the end, are they delivering you bookings? So for me and for most of my clients, it's the tyranny of choice that we have right now when it comes to marketing. Just focus on one thing and one thing that works, go deep on it. Obstacle number 3, poor ROI generally, or worse still, no idea of ROI. Everyone generally has opinions on how you should be marketing. Of course, we've got meeting friends and family telling us what we should be doing, but generally there's not a lot of evidence to what they're saying. Got no idea if anyone sees our ads, and we're just generally spread too thin. I know a lot of us feel like we're spending time and money for nothing, and I just want to point out that most of my clients' time is more precious than the money. We're just, again, chasing our tails, focusing on things that we're not sure are going to work or grow our bookings. And essentially, where do you put that money? Where do you put the effort? And where do you distribute your marketing efforts? Marketing distribution's always been a big area in the travel and tourism industry. So we've got all this choice up there. We've just got to pick 1 or 2 things that we know work. Evidence. So how do you fix problems? So to those 3 obstacles. So we need more research, we need to use evidence-based tactics for our marketing, and we need to use evidence-based distribution as well. So again, we need to have the stats and numbers that sit behind the success of whatever we choose. And before anything, the first thing that you need to overcome is just attain a very deep understanding of who you are targeting, who your ideal traveller is, their hopes, their dreams. Some of these travellers have been thinking about this time in their life travel for the last 30, 40 years. That is a really highly charged dream, and one that essentially is very profitable. And it's not just one trip, it's multiple trips. So my research tells me that the highest spending travellers have multiple trips at any one go. So you should be fishing in there and finding out what they've got going on, where they're going next. Have they got friends that want to come to your place? Do they want to travel with their friends? You need to know everything that's going on with these people. First of all, step 1, you need to have enough research and insight to make decisions about who the best travellers are for you. And there are so many profitable niches out there right now. We've got, actually, they're not even a niche, solo women. It's a huge area of growth thanks to Grey Divorce. so much research out there, so much insight, but again, pulling it all in. And that is actually one of the key skills, is finding out which research you need to look at. One thing that you can do here is go through to ChatGPT and do some of this research. So before, you'd have to go to Google and you'd have to just do it pretty manually. But if you just type in into ChatGPT the type of traveller that you're looking at, it'll bring back a deep persona for you. Again, going back to your ideal traveller, the profitable niches, I generally advise to stick to 1 or 2 really good niches that you're comfortable with, that you know the ins and outs. So that might be over 50s travellers, and then it might be, for example, multi-generational travellers. And this is the stuff that I go through all of my clients in the system, in the Travel Marketing Machine. And Sarah's, who's here today, has gone through this process. And it's got to suit you as well. So it's no use chasing millennial families or Gen Z if that's not something that you're comfortable or you know about doing. Not only the profitable travellers, but the ones that come naturally to you, that you have an affinity with. We've got to love what we're doing. So that is the number 2 thing that you should do. We get a deep understanding of the 8 stages of the traveller customer journey. Now, the way that travellers choose travel has never been more complicated. They are literally spending hundreds of hours online researching travel. Now, this is regardless of whether they're using a travel agent or not, or if they're booking direct. They will use Google, they will ask friends and family, they will interrogate reviews, and the high-spending travellers are doing this for hundreds of hours each year. It doesn't just start and end with the booking. It's those hundreds of hours that we focus on in the Travel Marketing Machine to ensure that you're actually going to capture their trust and they're going to want to book with you. And here's a snapshot. So here's the traveller customer journey. And one thing that we've been able to do in the system, in the Travel Marketing Machine, is take this customer journey and we're able to create content around each stage of the customer journey. So what we tend to focus, it's overwhelming to look at this, but we focus on the first 4 steps. And there's so much more opportunity to be had. Actually, I'll say the first 5 steps. And in particular, providing the trigger and the planning and research stage. So what does that look like? So we're using evidence-based marketing tactics. So 1, we know that highly profitable travellers are spending hundreds of hours researching travel. And this has been validated in my research over and over again. So this is why content marketing has to be the cornerstone of absolutely everything that you do. We have to satiate that demand. And that's what we do in the next level of the Travel Marketing Machine. And this is where we will enlist, you've probably heard the term of generative AI, but it's just ChatGPT and all the similarities. So sitting in this space before, it would take months and months for me to help my clients create the content, interrogating the research, and then getting our writers to write the content. This literally can be done at the flick of a switch, the press of the enter button, and I'm going to show you how in a little while. So content marketing has become accessible to absolutely everyone now with ChatGPT. And what I do with my clients at this particular stage is I highly recommend that you create your own customized ChatGPT with ChatGPT-4. So you may have heard people talk about assistants, GPT assistants. Basically, it's your own customized ChatGPT, and I'll go through some of the benefits of that. So it's like a ChatGPT interface, but it's just totally geared to your brand with my research that sits behind it. So if you happen to have any information on your ideal customer, you can actually put that in ChatGPT so that it creates content around that. So then what we need to do is It's a question that I get over and over. What do I create content about? What do I write my articles about? What do I write my Facebook posts about? Or we're always struggling for what am I going to do the email on this week? So what we've done here is we have evidence-based pillars. Again, these are common themes that come out over and over again through research, and the reasons that people love to travel, or what they're looking for as well. Again, it goes deep, it goes emotional, it goes beyond the rational. I've always wanted to go to Paris. So why have they always wanted to go to Paris? What's it feel like in Paris? What's the smells like? So we go really deep. So we're picking our content pillars, of which I've got plenty for you, or you can just create your own. And then what we're going to do is create the content. We would choose what topics to do, what's trending right now, what's interesting to people. We would choose a few of those, and then we would create content. And that process would take minimum 6 to 8 weeks full-time working on it. So it was a huge process, but this is literally going to take you less than 30 seconds. It is mind-blowing, let me tell you. I'm very excited about it. I'm a nerd through and through. So you have your normal ChatGPT. If you haven't seen it before, I'm going to show you what that looks like a little bit later on. And then you have a customized ChatGPT. So what's the benefit of having a customized ChatGPT? And again, I want to let you know that this is something that I help my clients through. Sarah's got one, she calls it Wicker, and it just sounds like your brand. So the wonderful thing by creating your own customized ChatGPT and directing it is that you don't sound like all of the other content that's out there. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing travel content get really boring, and you're reading a lot of content out there and not really thinking that it says anything. That's what I'm getting out there. And that's because everyone that creates an article from the normal ChatGPT, if it's not directed properly, it's just going to churn out the same as everybody else, because it's drawing from the same information as everybody else. So there's a couple of keys here that we teach. And if you're going to go off and do this, you need to learn about how to drive ChatGPT, generally speaking, with the instructions. They're so important. The other thing we can do is instruct it in the back so that you don't have to instruct it every single time. You can build your traveller trust. And what I love about a customised ChatGPT is it gives hyper-relevant suggestions, specific recommendations, based on the type of travel that you're selling, or the type of accommodation that you're selling, or the guest house that you have. You can give really specific recommendations on your own destination, the restaurants that you recommend, and it's all based on your ideal traveller. And the more bespoke, the more it talks to your ideal traveller, the more trust you're going to create with your ideal traveller. You'll be relatable, and it just increases the likelihood of converting the inquiries to booking. And it's not just the inquiries to booking, it's actually the lurkers you're offering or research the destination. So if you're running a hotel or a small business or a tour company, they're going to be lurking on your website for a really long time before they reach out or before they even book. So this is why your content is really important. Most tour companies, most travel agents, most accommodation providers have barely enough content on their website to satiate that desire. Now, our travellers want to know about every single nook and cranny. They want to feel really good about you and your service, whatever you're offering. They want to trust you. They want to know that you're out there for them, that you're like them. So what I say to travel agents, for example, you want to be perceived as, are you out there looking for experiences, a new product all the time? You want to be an expert on that destination, not just your accommodation, but You want to give information that makes people want to come and stay at your destination. So you've got to look beyond what you do every day. You've got to be useful, relevant, and helpful for when they're lurking around on your website or the content that you suggest. The great thing about using custom GPTs and putting any fresh research or fresh knowledge that you gather, perhaps in a FML or something you're discovering, is that ensures that your content is fresh and up to date and you're using the latest traveller research. And again, that makes sure it doesn't sound like everybody else. Really important. Now, I've got Sarah here today. So there's actually two Sarahs here. They're two different Sarahs, but both have been through the program, and on the left-hand side, it's just the time saver. It is an epiphany. People cannot believe it. This Sarah is an executive officer for a regional tourism organisation. They've written blogs, developed itineraries, letters to members. It can just help you get those tasks done that have been sitting on your to-do list for a year, let's face it. The last problem is knowing where to put your marketing. We've created all of this beautiful content. We know our ideal traveller. Where do we put it? So we put it in places that are evidenced to get you more bookings. Now, what I advocate to anybody is that make sure you're building your two primary assets. You're building your website content and you're building your email list. They're two assets within your control. The more you post on social media that you don't own, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg can take that away from you any time. And especially now with the death of third-party cookies, which a lot of the really big travel brands rely on, that remarketing, that if you visit a website, then that website follows you around on the internet, no matter where you are, they follow you around. The ability to remarket is being cut out. It's meant to be October this year. So all of the big guys are going to one day in October go, oh, we're going to have to create content and we're going to have to create email lists so that we can communicate one-on-one with our customers now that they can't remarket anymore. So you need to have control over your business assets, and creating your email list and creating your content is two ways to do that. It's not just good marketing, it's good business practice. Now, this is where I get old school and a bit nostalgic about email. Email is still by far the number one most effective email marketing tactic known to man. It just is. So all the stats point to, it gives you, for every dollar spent, you get $42 back. It is such good value, and particularly for travellers. Travellers will subscribe to your email list because they want to travel. And if they don't want to hear from you anymore, they'll just unsubscribe. That is not a bad thing. It's easy, it's measurable. You can send your information out and send them directly to your website and your offers. So what we do in the program is we house all of our beautiful articles on our blogs or our website. Then we'll send out an email every week to your email database that points to your website. Again, we always want to point back to the website so that they can go through all the content. So yes, they'll probably read that one article that you've sent them to, but they might do some more lurking as well and get some ideas, learn to trust you. Then we put that same article on social media posts. So we'll do a short article linking back to that main article on the website. That's as complicated as it gets, but I guarantee if you do this every single week, you will grow. End of story. So what we do, and what I recommend you doing, is just create campaigns over and over. You do one every single week. And the great thing about email is that you can measure it. So you can go deep into the statistics. And again, I take everybody through this on the program. and we have a look and see how many people have opened it. You can see who's opened it. You can see how many times they've opened it. So sometimes I have clients that have had one email opened 17 times. That was one last week. And he said, this person's opened the email 17 times. I said, no, what that means is that email, he's sent it on to possibly his friends, his wife, partners, whatever, and other people have opened that email. So that indicates to me that it's probably not just one person wanting to go on a really expensive cruise. It's probably his wife and probably a couple of friends as well. So that is when it's good time to either follow up with another email or get on the phone. Again, old school, get on the phone and chase that lead. So again, the tools are in here. The system is here to really help you grow. And once you've got this down pat, once it's all set up, you can spend half a day setting this up and have all of your content for 6 months quite easily. And I'm going to show you how you do that. And then what we can do is set up for repeat business and also referrals so that we're getting more and more people. So the way that you get more customers is through referrals and through your content on Google search when people stumble across you. And the end result is more inquiries and more bookings. So I'm going to go into the travel marketing machine. So what I have done here, so if you think at the back of this travel marketing machine sits, so the research, all the traveller research, the best of, if you like, sits behind the travel marketing machine. So I've got all of the content pillars that you need. I've got all of the information on the customer journey, the traveller customer journey. And what I've got is my own brand here. So what we did with Sarah is we put her brand tone of voice in there as well. So this can all sit at the back. So every time we create something from your customized GPT, it gets better and better. It's like a new staff member. So on day one, that staff member is really brand new, doesn't know much. You give it instructions, it presents stuff back to you, but it's not that good. You tell it to go back and do this and this, and it comes back better. Think of ChatGPT does exactly the same. So what has happened recently is it's got a memory now, and that's something that's only come about 8 weeks ago. It remembers, it did anyway, because it's how artificial intelligence works. But with this memory, it remembers more and more. So you'll notice that when you use ChatGPT, it comes back with American spelling. The more you tell it, no, we're Australian, it will just, one day you won't have to tell it. It will just remember that. So it's just like having a new person. Today, in honour of Halloween, I am going to ask my travel marketing machine, considering it's got all my research in the back, to create an article. I'm thinking about dark tourism. I've got all these if you're bored or you've got no idea, sitting there going, what the hell do I write about? You can ask it for ideas because it will know about you and your brand and what you sell. So this is what's so amazing about it. Write an article about dark tourism. Let's see what comes back. Behave, please. There we go. Key locations. Oh yeah, Pompeii, I wouldn't have thought, but yeah, it is. It is dark tourism because it's quite amazing to look at those bodies. Emotional, ethical. So it's going to now give me social media posts because I have created a template that sits behind it and it's given me an email. Okay, so what I want to do now is ask it to write another one using the knowledge base, which is what I've given it. Create a detailed article on dark tourism for Friday the 13th. Again, give it as much information you can. It's like that staff member. Here we go. The ghosts, the catacombs. Travel responsibly. Yeah, let's give it a go. Here's the social media posts. So what you would do is you would post that article to your website. We've got 2 social media posts. You'll link those. And here is an email. But I don't think that email is long enough. I'll get to that, Gayleen. I'm going to ask it to make the email more detailed. It will link back. Article on the website. Okay, let's try Melbourne. Okay, using knowledge base. Create a dark tourism article for Melbourne, Australia. Because there's one in America, but I'm pretty sure it would know I'm here. Okay. Here we go. Old Melbourne Jail. Isn't it great? So I know this is drawing on my research because it's expanding on some of the stuff that's in there. So it's getting quite detailed. Here we go. Oh my God, Chopper Read. Yes, Pentridge. Oh, the Princess Theatre. There we go. Nighttime ghost tours, the grave of Ned Kelly. This is fabulous. The Ripponlea estate. Social media posts. There we go. And it's given us a direct response. So you don't have to send big, massive emails. You can just send a snippet and they can click through to your article so that they can get lost on your website. So yeah, it is, Gayleen. It is so awesome. Imagine how much easier this is going to. So we could create a tour on dark tourism for Melbourne, like a DIY. Let's do something a bit crazy here. Create a tour for Friday 13th, bar hopping in Melbourne. Let's see what it brings. Just look at that. Lock and key. Love it. There we go. Any theme. Does anyone want to give it a spin? Here we go. I want to go on the tour. Let's do it. Comfortable shoes. Yes. So who else has got something for me? I can put your business in and we can have a play. Anyone? Come on. It's pretty cool, isn't it? That is the travel mart. That is what we can do now. Elm Cottage. Let's do Elm Cottage. Okay. Let me have a look. But I'll do it in the travel marketing machine. Okay. So using your knowledge base, so reminding it to use the research, you have been asked by Elm Cottage in Tumut to create a marketing campaign to attract travellers over 55 during low season. So reconnect with nature. Why Elm Cottage in Tumut is your perfect low season getaway. It knows you're in the Riverina region. Reconnect with nature. It's got your social media. It's got your subject line here. So with these stages, so the trigger stage is specifically when we take them from dreaming about travel to booking to planning travel. And again, we have the power to do this as travel and tourism professionals. So here's a really nice one for you guys at Elm Cottage. Celebrate your milestone. And it would be really beautiful. And again, this is something you could do for multi-generational travel. Reconnect with your loved one. Experience something new. Low season travel, peace and solitude. Loving this. These are great. So what you could do now is I'm going to ask it to create Article 3. Look how amazing that is. This is Elm Cottage, isn't it? The upshot is, honestly, this will save you hundreds of hours. Many of those staring at the screen, wondering what the hell you're going to write. It's amazing. Yep, this is pretty much where it's at for you. Stress-free getaway for you. And they are, there we go. Any adjustments? So, I firmly believe that there's never going to be a better time for travel. The next 5 years is going to be turbocharged, and that's predominantly because of the retiring baby boomer generation. So those of you who have been working with me or know me for a while, I specialise. So pre-COVID, I was working with all the really big brands about how to attract baby boomer travellers, because not only do they have the most disposable income, so we do this every single week, and it takes a little while to set up. But once you're set up and running, it will take maybe an hour a week to set this up. And let's face it, an hour a week to dedicate to marketing and growing your business with these cashed up baby boomers over the next 5 years. It's really powerful stuff. So lovely people, I'm going to go and I will send all this out, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all. I appreciate you. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. Bye.